want any other Indian daughter to be Nirbhaya or Disha, do we? No, right? Yet we glorify them to be Indian daughters only when a crime is already committed against them. A very pleasant good morning to one and all. My name is Poonam and today I am here to speak on the topic women's safety measures. Today India that celebrates the murder of 4 accused by the police officials, justifying it as an act of justice for 26 years old veterinarian doctor, ignoring completely the plight of 23 years old Unnao rape victim who was beaten, stabbed and burnt alive by the 5 accused in a daylight on her way to the court for her own case hearing in Raebareli. Dear India, do you know where lies the difference? The difference is this. The difference is that the 4 accused in the former case belonged to lower economic background. They were of low caste. They don't have any political influences in the background. And in the other case, the 5 accused were of upper class. They were of upper caste and they had a good political influences. And this is the difference, dear India. Yet, nevertheless, this was the justice that we celebrated and glorified. Congratulations, India, our daughters are safe. However, coming to the point, it is said that violence is inequitable. And human being is considered to be a violent being who desires for the peace every second. However, the established norms, rules, regulations and laws play their vital role only when a crime is already committed. The legislative measures that we have been adopting or the rights that the Constitution has guaranteed us, namely right to equality, right to freedom and right to live with dignity, or enshrined as a part of our constitutional rights, seems good only in the books. When it comes to the reality, there is a complete ignorance about these rights and duties in the societal aspects. And also coming to the point that these rights and the legislative measures that are enacted for the very protection of the women are not known to the women themselves. And secondly, these are the protective rights has their term, but they are not protective rights. They are only punishable rights. They come into the play when already a crime is already committed. So, the very first huge outcry was in year 1983 when the first amendment was done to the Criminal Procedure Code. The outcry was because a 12 years old girl was raped in a very police station by the police officials. The outcry was huge and the only way to calm the public was to amend the law. It was a major amendment. The amendment says that the duty was on the prosecution to prove the case. That is, the duty is on the victim to prove that the crime was committed on her. Yet, after the amendment, the changes were made. The change was that it was on the accused. The burden of proof was shifted on the accused to prove that he has not committed the offense. Now, the law says accused is guilty until proven innocent. This is the law what it is currently. This law was made to protect the outraged character of a woman in the open trial that happens usually in the court, questioning the character of a woman. To protect such, the law was changed. The second outcry was in year 2000 when a NGO worker who was working with her own colleagues was raped by her very colleagues. The case was state of Vishaka versus state of Rajasthan in year 2000, where Supreme Court laid the guidelines stating it is necessary to have a legislation for protecting the women in the workplace. This shows that our women are growing. They are ready to work. They want to work, but our men are not growing. And it's high time that we educate our men as well to accept the women in the workplaces. The third outcry was in year 2012. A famous Delhi gang rape case, also termed as Nirbhaya. The law was strengthened more, where 5 accused were being charged, out of which one was an juvenile, one committed the suicide and other 3 were hanged to the penalty in year 2018. Nevertheless, this didn't stop the crime against the woman. It was Unnao rape case, it was Disha rape case, and the list continues. These are the rape cases that made to the news, so we all know them. The list is huge and many go unreported. So with this all analysis, what I understood is that law is only for the punishments. Law is not for the protection or prevention. The protection and prevention should come within the society. I am not a sociologist, I am neither a professor. I am just an observer in the society, and with my observation skills, I try to list out few measures that I think would help for the women's safety in the society. The first thing is education. It is said that the home is the first place for the child, and the parents are the first teachers. The gender stereotyping traditional orthodox norms that are set in the Indian society ought to be bygone. It is high time that we get away with them. It is high time that our parents or our family members treat both the child, that is woman and male, woman and boy, or a girl or boy as we say, equally. And it is high time that we realize that to give importance to the primary education of a woman as well, what is similar to a male. It is said that Indian society has a huge number of female warriors, just like Rani Lakshmi Bai, Ahilya Holkar of Holkar Samrat, Begum Hasrat Mahal of Mughal Empire, and these were very good warriors. They were educated, they were given Niti Shastra as we say, Rajniti and all, political education and all. But if you go back to the history and analyze, the whole thing is that of a class difference. These people belong to the higher class. They were either queens or they were either princes. No one from the lower class or a middle class, no family have educated ever the women, which means that women education was not a primary importance at any point of time. The primary importance was women marriage. All the time you get, if your family is financially stable and they can afford a good education, the first thing is put forth to the son and then to a daughter. So one thing we need to understand is we need to give primary importance to the women education, to acknowledge her with her rights, with her duties as well. And this also brings me to my second point, and this is financial independence. The recent survey reports of National Family Welfare Ministry clearly showed that first time ever in India, the women were more educated than the men, and the women are going for the higher education more than the men. And this is the positive change. The schemes like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, etc. did have helped the society to understand the importance of women education. But it is a long way to go. The point here is that on one hand, when they are showing that the women education statistical data is increasing, on the other hand, the same record says that women's role in the economic development is very low. The women are working in the informal sector, and in the formal sector, there are very few women who are working. And when you analyze the difference between the informal sector and formal sector, the most of the women that are working in the informal sector are working out of, not because it is their voluntary choice, just because there was no one in the home to take care of the child or to take care of the home. And this is the reason why women is working. It's not because they want to be financially independent, or it's not because they have a choice to choose the workplace. So this brings back to the same stereotypical orthodox traditional norms that we have said, that women are meant to be governing the only house. They are meant to work in the kitchens, but they don't have their professional choice that they want to have. And this is the norm that we need to break down and set up a financial independent status for the woman. Also, when a woman is financially independent, it becomes easy for her to move out of the toxic relationships, move out of the relationship where she is domestically harassed, or to move out of the relationship where there is a continuous dowry demand. and it is high time that we realize it, to give primary importance to her education and her financial independence status rather than her marriage. And my third point is that the property division of the property rights of the woman. The laws are set down to give women and daughters equal property rights in a father share. When the father is dying intestate, irrespective of any religion, the daughters get their share in their father's property. But in one of the famous TED talk by Honorable Justice Leela Seth, the justice has mentioned that women voluntarily give up their property share. They do not accept their property share. The reason is very clear. The reason, when she asked the woman why they do not want the property share in their father's share or who is dying intestate, they stated out that it is because they don't want clashes with their brothers, just because of the property. So the thing is that the law is giving you the rights, but women are voluntarily not taking it. The opposer of this content or this point may say that woman might be getting her dowry or stridhan at the time of marriage. Then why does she need a property share at the time of partition? To this, in the same video, Honorable Justice has said that if you are taking your dowry or stridhan, it is just a part of the share of the property what your father is giving you. You have to combine whole the property and then divide it equally between the sons and the daughters. So just getting your stridhan and dowry is not a solution that you got all your property share. No, you have to combine it with the whole property and then share it equally. This is what law says. And the other thing is that when you take your property share and not taking your stridhan or dowry, the violence of domestic, that is the domestic violence and dowry, both will be curbed in the society. Because when other woman is bringing more dowry and other woman is not bringing more dowry, like the other woman is bringing less dowry, the in-laws are like, look at her, she is bringing more dowry and you are not even bringing that much dowry for us. What your parents have done for you? And they are subjecting her to the violence. So it is a duty of every woman to understand the root cause of everything that is happening in the society. And when you take your property share, the things like stridhan and dowry will not run in the society. Half of the crimes will be solved that she is subjected in her own house. And also my fourth measure I would like to state is that woman is not an enemy of a woman. We need to break this norm that woman is an enemy of a woman. If you are having a daughter-in-law, if you are having a daughter, if you are having a sister, or if you are having a woman colleague, you should stand for her rights, for her work, and for her leadership qualities. You should encourage her. You should always support her instead of demeaning her or showing her that she is lower than you. It's high time that we break this norm that the woman is the biggest enemy of the woman. We are not the enemies. We are our colleagues and we support for each other. Lastly but not the least, self-defense techniques. The law protection or the punishable offences that are given in the laws only come into the framework when already a crime is committed. But a woman is self-acquitted to face the danger, then we don't need any other thing. It's high time that our schools and colleges start teaching the self-defense techniques as a subject, irrespective of a woman or a girl or a boy, or woman or a man. It is high time that we start teaching it as a form of physical activity. And this would exactly help the society grow better. In conclusion, I would just like to put the plight of every woman in small words. I am not a diamond, I am not a gold. I am neither a precious stone that is meant to be preserved. I am a human of a voice, I am a person with a thought, and I am a lady of her words. Do not treat me as a god of your four walls. I insist, do not treat me as a god of your four walls. Treat me as a human being, and that will solve many problems. Thank you.
Please subscribe to Andhrodayam TV. Please subscribe to Andhrodayam TV channel.
Please subscribe to Andhrodayam TV.
Please subscribe to Andhrodayam TV. Please subscribe to Andhrodayam TV.
Please subscribe to Andhrodayam TV.
Please subscribe to Andhrodayam TV.